Welcome back to 843 TV. We are now joined by Mr. Jim Chaffin, and Jim is the developer and the visionary for where we sit today. And I can tell you, good job. You did well.
Well, thanks. As I've said often, Mother Nature and the good Lord did the work. Our job was to mess it up as little as possible.
That's right. That's a good motto. So how did this come to be, and what inspired you about this piece of land to do what you've done here?
Well, my partner, Jim Light, and I were familiar with the Low Country. We started our careers back in the late 60s with a visionary man named Charles Frazier at Sea Pines Plantation, and were with him for 10 years on Hilton Head and Amelia Island, Kiowa Island, etc. And then took our families to Colorado, where we were involved in the evolution of a wonderful mountain village called Snowmass near Aspen. We got a phone call from a banker and lawyer telling us that their client, a Eastern European, had decided to go back to Europe and wanted to sell Kalawasi Island. So in 1985, we got our toes back in the pluff mud, so to speak, and returned to the Low Country. And we're developing, as we were developing, Kalawasi Island became aware of Spring Island, which is the neighbor. And a group had a contract on Spring Island and zoning for 5,500 units. They were trying to get a bridge approved from the mainland and were having trouble and sought an easement through Kalawasi Island. We felt that 5,500 units not only would make a dramatic negative impact on traffic through Kalawasi, but that it really was too much development for Spring Island.
Right.
So when they did not get a bridge or an easement from us, the property became available again, and we met with the family, the Walker family, and their advisors, and put it under contract. So that's really how we came to buy Spring Island. We chose it because of its absolute mystical, intoxicating natural beauty, and the fact that it had been under single ownership since 1706, unlike a lot of other islands that we know in the Low Country that got divided up between owners and families. This had had single ownership and stewardship since 1706. And so it was a natural blank canvas to begin our work on. And a little known thing is that Spring Island has unusual elevation. Most of the sea islands that we talk about have an average elevation of 6 or 7 feet above sea level, and Spring Island averages 18 feet above sea level. So it was all of those natural attributes that drew us to it. So we were inspired by that, and also by a new focus on environmentalism. The Roper organization and Pew Trust had done psychometric studies that showed that the market was becoming more and more aware. They thought of themselves, a higher and higher percentage of Americans thought of themselves as environmentally sensitive. And so the question, could we evolve a human settlement within a nature park? Could we do something that was subordinate to the nature and make the nature a major reason for people to come here?
Well, driving through, it's obvious that you did that very well.
Thanks. Thanks.
Jim, for someone looking to purchase in the Low Country, why would you tell them to look at Spring?
Well, the natural beauty, yes. It's intoxicating. It's very special. Facilities, amenities, yes, world class. But the real reason for people to look at Spring Island is that sense of community. When we do our market research, and now when the members do their market research every 24 months or so, and ask what people love most about it. It's not just the nature. It's humbling for us. It isn't the architecture or the master plan or the golf course. Year after year after year, it's the friends they make.
Wow.
It is the friends they make and the sense of community and belonging here.
I think sense of community is a huge, humongous attribute for people who are uprooting their lives from where they've grown up, where they've worked their entire life, to move and then be empty nesters, and then to not have a sense of community. They feel like they may have made the wrong decision. So to move down here and get the best of everything, the world-class amenities, amazing nature, and to have a sense of community, I think you guys really topped it off.
And this sense of connectedness is important to people, and they just rank that every year as the #1 reason that they like living here.
You guys pretty much covered it all here. You did it incredibly well.
What kind of closing comments do you have, Jim?
We talked about this connection between nature. You know, E.O. Wilson wrote a definitive work called the biophilia hypothesis that shows that we're genetically connected to nature and that we physiologically respond to nature. And so part of that goal was to put this human settlement in a connection with the nature that's here.
Well, y'all did a great job. You really did.
Well, thank you for being with us. We really appreciate your insight and you telling us how you came to put this all together. You've done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. And stay with us. We have one more segment of 843 TV.